Hey everybody, this is Raw Vegan Training coming at you from episode 5. This is the 5th episode of videos on my channel, so I'm pretty stoked about that. That kind of means I'm going to be doing this. I've actually managed to make 5 whole videos, which is amazing. Never mind that I've been, I started this about like 8 weeks ago, so it's less than a video a week, but hopefully you'll be having more consistent videos coming to you because that's something I really aim to do. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my success so far with the raw vegan training, the whole philosophy and lifestyle since I started that first video, over 2 months ago. So I started this channel with the goal of kind of seeing what I could accomplish being raw vegan 80-10-10, really high raw as much as possible, and doing really heavy weight training, really trying to gain weight. Because that's something that in the raw and even the 80-10-10 community is not a popular goal. It's for the vast majority of people that I interact with, I follow online and hear about and read about and watch on YouTube. They're trying to lose weight. They came from a position where they were weighing a lot more than they wanted to, or they wanted to kind of tone up a little more, or they came from some kind of chronic disease and they were trying to heal that with raw food. And raw food and 80-10-10 worked wonderfully for them, and it was something amazing that completely changed their life. But for me, fortunately, I'm incredibly lucky that I haven't had any kind of chronic diseases. I've never been overweight. I'm just looking for something that's going to allow me to be healthy long term. Also, I want to gain weight on high raw vegan 80-10-10. So that's something that's not, as big of a goal as losing weight on the diet. That's something that you don't really see a lot of people trying to gain weight on 80-10-10 high raw. So that's kind of what I wanted to experiment with this channel. I wasn't even trying to really prove it. I was trying to find out if it was something that could be done. I've had some really good success with that in the past 3 months. So I started this channel about a month after I actually started really following the 80-10-10 model. So I came into the Woodstock Fruit Festival at 139 pounds. And that's what I was at when I was really trying to start this. And I tried to start eating lots of calories, hitting 80-10-10 with my macros, 80% carbohydrates, 10% protein, 10% fat. Started trying to do that consistently, eat a lot of calories, lift some heavy weight in order to try to gain some muscle mass and put on some size. So I weighed 139. About 3 months later, yesterday I weighed in at 152 for the second day in a row. So that's a 13-pound gain. So I was able to actually do pretty well, and that was really high raw, so about 90% raw. I am supplementing occasionally with some things like quinoa, just unflavored, unseasoned quinoa, but mostly fruits and vegetables. I at least actually get more than 50% of my calories every day from just bananas and dates. Probably about maybe 60-65% of my calories from bananas and dates. I'm just kind of picking out on that stuff. So it's really helpful. And then the other half is kind of random fruits, some vegetables that you try to have a salad for dinner, and then occasionally I'll have some kind of cooked quinoa or cooked potatoes, like sweet potatoes. Can really help me kind of fill out my calories, because in order to gain weight, that's something where you need to be taking in a tremendous amount of calories. I shoot for about 4,000, 4,500 a day. And being someone who works 50 hours a week, it can be really challenging to just have all fruit and carry a backpack full of fruit to work and then get another load of fruit from the market once I get to work. It's pretty challenging. So I am supplementing with that stuff. I am actually starting this week to be a little more raw than I have been, maybe move that up to 95%, maybe even 100% some days, just focus on that. So I wanted to really talk about how I was able to be successful in gaining weight on this diet doing raw vegan training. I actually started this channel, believe it or not, almost 4 years ago. I had a channel called Raw Vegan Training. It was a different URL, different username, about 4 years ago. And I tried that. And this was before I even learned about 80-10-10, I was just doing raw veganism by itself. I wasn't counting calories. I wasn't eating really a caloric surplus. I was weight training. I was also doing a lot of cardio, but I was basically that was an exercise in learning what not to do. Basically, I ate less calories than I burned. I was lifting in an inconsistent way. I wasn't tracking my progress on my lifts as much, and I wasn't really focusing on something that was really important, which was rest. And so what I've learned since then, and in this successful attempt to gain weight, is 3 things that make it possible to gain weight, to gain muscle mass on high raw vegan 80-10-10. So those things are: 1, eating a caloric surplus, eating upwards of 3,000 calories a day. And that's something that, it really depends on who you are, what your build is, what your metabolism is. I recommend calculating your total daily energy expenditure, which is your TDEE. You can find a lot of good calculators online that will help you basically figure out what that is. So you want to figure out what your total caloric expenditure is going to be for the day, and then make sure that you're eating more than that. Because really what you're going to shoot for in a given week, if you want to gain 1 pound in a week, you need to eat 500 calories more than your total daily energy expenditure each day, because that's what it takes to put on a pound of weight. So 500 extra calories every single day. And so what I've been doing is maybe 500 to 1,000 extra calories every day just to try to put on some weight. So that's what I've been doing. That's one of the reasons I've been successful this time around, trying raw vegan training. The second thing that's been very important is getting adequate rest. Because if I'm feeding myself and I'm trying to grow, I need to be resting, because that's when muscle growth happens. That's when you get to recover and rebuild your muscles and get that energy back that you need to have productive exercise, productive stress. So one of the things I've been really focusing on, which is vitally important, is rest. Not only your nightly rest, which I'm really trying as hard as I can to get at least 8 hours of quality sleep at night. That's been super helpful. Really trying to focus on that. But one of the things that I never paid attention to very much in the past when I tried this first attempt 4 years ago is getting rest basically, programmatically. So when I'm doing weight training, what I'm doing right now is doing really intense weight training and then always taking a day off afterward. So basically I have 48 hours between every workout to fully recover. The first thing that it does is, lets me recover so I can work harder the next workout. And I've seen amazing results in that. I'm able to work so much harder when I have a full rest day and I'm also on a full night's sleep. I can push myself much harder in the gym, which in turn, results in more gains for muscle mass. So that's been super helpful. And it's just really great. That's one of the things that has, I think, made all the difference really, is getting adequate rest, both, each night and in between workouts, basically taking a day off between every workout. And the third key to success that I've had is obviously weight training. So weight training, I think, is vitally important if you're trying to gain muscle mass. Basically, what you need to do is work out with heavy weight, because what you want to do is push your body to the limit. It sounds maybe destructive, but you need to break down muscle in order to rebuild it stronger. And what you're basically telling your body when you're doing heavy weight, if you watch some of my workouts here, I'm lifting really heavy weight on a barbell for lots of reps, doing it really often. So the signal I'm trying to send to my body is that essentially my body is barely adequate for the task that it's facing. So what the body observes is that, squatting 200 pounds, it's really challenging. We can barely do this. We better take all this food that we're getting, we better take advantage of all this rest that we're getting and harness that into building more muscle so the next time we can actually, be equal to this task. And that's kind of this process that you keep repeating and repeating so you get more muscle mass, you get stronger, you get bigger, because you're facing something that you're almost not able to overcome, really. So that's kind of the whole principle of weight training and progressive overload. Basically, you're trying to lift more weight every time so that you keep moving up and up and up. And that's what makes your lift stronger, and it's also what gives you more muscle mass. So that's really important. Those are the three things that made all the difference this time around, is eating a serious caloric surplus, getting adequate rest, and heavy weight training. So that's really all I think I wanted to talk about this time around. I'm gonna try to come back to you for another video really soon, and hopefully you'll be seeing me pretty quickly. All right, thanks guys.